Hi, welcome to the FlockBase video series on church accounting. My name is Kevin Cheshire, and I joined FlockBase as co-owner back in 2018. I've been a CPA for 32 years. 23 of those I spent working on staff at a couple of different churches. Here at FlockBase, our number one goal is to help churches. That's really what we're all about. And that's why we're doing this series of informational videos for church treasurers and ministers. So if you find anything in the video helpful, I encourage you to share it with your friends, share it with others in ministry, anybody that you think might benefit from it. So now, without further ado, let's get into today's topic. Hello, this is Kevin, and today we're going to talk about how to prepare a church budget. The process is really pretty straightforward, although it may be a little bit scary or uncomfortable if you've never done this before. But trust me, as long as you dive in and do a little bit of work, you'll be able to put together a budget that'll make sense and likely be very helpful to you. And as you move forward, you'll just get better and better at it. So the process, in general, we're going to plan our church year first. Then we're going to review prior revenue and expenses. And then we're going to project future revenue and expenses. So we start by planning a church year. Now, this could basically be sitting down and looking at your calendar for the coming year and answering these questions. What services will we provide? And by that, I mean, what will your normal schedule be? Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, parents' day out, after school care. You may have other things. You may do Meals on Wheels, things like that. So that's first. Secondly is what events will you host? Will you do a Wednesday evening meal for the church? Will you have holiday events? Will you have any special meetings? Anything that you've got on the calendar for the coming year. You could have planned a crusade or some type of a revival event. Many churches do many different types of events. Next, what activities will we sponsor? Camps, VBS, mission trips, other things like that, special activities. And then we're going to estimate the cost of each one of these services, events, and activities. And the question is, what part of these will the general fund pay for? Well, so will the general fund pay for some of it, all of it, none of it? Or will participants pay fees? For example, some churches pay for their kids to go to youth camp, and the participants don't pay anything. Other churches, it's exactly the opposite. The church budget doesn't fund anything, and the cost is allocated among all those who go. And it's not a spiritual question. Different churches just do it differently. So after we've planned our year, the next step is we're going to review prior revenues and expenses. We're going to look back and see how much God has provided, how much has come in undesignated and potentially designated giving, and how much have we spent in at least the last year, maybe the last couple of years. So how much was given to the general fund in the prior year and the year prior to that? Is it consistent? Is it growing? Is it shrinking? Let's see if we can detect a pattern. And then we're going to ask the question, how much was spent from the general fund over the prior year? And I've given you three basic categories that you could group these expenses into: personnel, facilities, operations. Under personnel, we're talking about the obvious things: salary, housing, insurance, payroll taxes, maybe some other expenses. And then in facilities, we're talking about repairs, maintenance, insurance, utilities, landscaping, all the normal recurring expenses that surround facilities. And then operations includes pretty much everything else from office expenses, curriculum materials, communion supplies, outreach, website, advertising, other expenses. So that category can get very broad, and each church is going to have a little bit different take. So we're going to look at what we've spent in each of those categories in as granular a way as we need to. Let me give you an example. You could look at church office expense, office supplies, as one line item, or maybe you need to look and see how much you spent on copy paper, how much did you spend on paper clips and pencils and clipboards. You can get as detailed as you need to, but you need to come up with a reasonably good estimate of what you have spent. And then the last step is to prepare a budget that includes all the costs estimated above. And this is where it gets hard. You're going to look at your spending plan. What do all of these expenses total up to? And then we're going to compare that to what we've projected in revenue. And if we have more planned for expense than we have planned revenue, we're going to have to make some adjustments. And if it's the other way around, if we believe that God's going to provide more resources than we've allocated as expense, then we need to decide, are we going to store some of that for rainy days in the future? Or are we going to add ministry events to our calendar? Are we going to fund more of the events that we're having and have the participants pay less? But that's, you get to decide. And what I do see many churches doing is doing one budget that is basically the necessities. Then you do another budget that is what you would really like to do. And then maybe you have a higher budget that, we call the hallelujah budget or something like that, because it's the budget that we're going to use if God provides more than we've anticipated. So we're going to plan what we're going to do with those resources before we have them. And I believe that is just simply good stewardship. And like I said at the top of this, if you've never done it, it can seem scary and daunting, but it's really not. It's really common sense. And as you do this, you will get better at it very quickly. You will get better. And hopefully, this will be a blessing in your ministry. And I believe in 4 weeks, we're going to take that next step. And I'm going to talk about how to set up a financial system, chart of accounts, so that you can connect your budget to your financials and get some good reports. Have a wonderful day.
Hi, my name is Kaylee, and I work in customer success for FlockBase. I hope you found the information in this video helpful. If you did, I'd encourage you to share it with anyone you know who may benefit from it as well. Whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or on our website, flockbase.com, be sure to check back here on the 1st and 15th of every month for new videos in this series. At FlockBase, our goal really is to help churches. That's why we started this video series, and that's why we offer affordable, fully integrated church management software. Whether your church is just starting out or you're looking for a new software that's specifically designed to meet your church's accounting and management needs, I encourage you to visit our website, flockbase.com. You can learn more about our software options, which start at just $16 per month, and you can even start a free trial simply by entering in your email address. We hope you'll check that out and that you'll join us again for our next video. Have a blessed day.